Thai rangers have found a rare hybrid bull of bunting and Gao parents at a national park in Prachuap Khiri Khan province, Thailand. The hybrid bull, aged about 3 to 4 years, is a large herd of Gaos roaming Kuiburi National Park. Prawat Sard Chantep, head of the National Park Rangers, said the bull was likely born of female Goa and male bunting. 3 bunting were among the herd of 115 wild Goas, he said. The rangers will monitor the herd to protect and study the behavior and development of the young hybrid bull. As Valentine's Day approaches, prices of roses in Thailand are also on the rise as lovers order bouquets of red roses in advance to show their love. A large florist in Chiang Mai's Ton Lam Yai area is decorated in Valentine's Day theme to promote sales for the important day of loving couples. A special bouquet of 99 grade A red roses now costs 10,000 baht, a floristry owner said. Pre-orders have increased by 50% for all types of rose bouquets, with prices starting at 2,000 baht. Gestures of affection are not only limited to flowers. The florists have also dolls available from 100 baht to several thousand baht. Shop owners in Chiang Mai commercial districts believe the Valentine's Day this year in this laid-back city will be vibrant. A foreign television crew has been in town to produce a program on Valentine's Day and florist business. The annual Floral Festival in Chiang Mai was successfully launched on Friday with a parade of beautiful flower-decorated cars and spectacular shows. Many tourists, both Thai and foreign, flocked to occupy their spots along the route of the parade, which started from Navarat Bridge to Nong Nuak Hat Park, passing Ta Pe Road. This year marks its 39th year of the festival. 28 floral cars participated in the parade this year, including a special one carrying the royal cup from Princess Siradon. The 3-day festival is one of the province's annual festivals held to promote tourism in Chiang Mai. Hotel rooms were 90% booked, with expected revenue of 700 million baht, drawing hundreds of thousands of tourists, said Director of the Chiang Mai Tourism Authority of Thailand, Wisub Wachong. Brunei's 6th modified car show has attracted a large crowd. Organized by the Automotive Club of the Youth Centre, the show was held at the parking lot of the Hassan al-Bolkiah National Stadium in Barakas recently. Among the hundreds of people who turned up at the show was the Deputy Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, Datin Taluka Haja Adina Binti Uthman. More than 200 cars have been structurally modified, were put on display. The annual event enabled the car owners and fans in the country to share information and knowledge in one of the costly hobby. The cars have been physically modified according to the unique and creative mind of the owners. The show also gave information on the technical ways of maintaining the vehicles. The Philippine Department of Tourism recently organized the Manila International Travel Expo, held at the SMX Convention Center, Pasay City. The objective of the expo was to promote the tourist destinations in the Philippines, since it was attended by local and foreign exhibitors. Through this, the economy of the country will surely rise, since tourism is an important channel for job and other opportunities for Filipinos. The expo also featured the first Philippine Homestyle Congress. The keynote speaker was the Honorable Vice President Jijomar Binay, who emphasized the unity of ASEAN member states in the field of furniture and furnishings. Requiring large commercial premises to submit their waste reports will create a platform for sharing recycling best practices and possibly result in the reduction of waste in the next few years. Two hotels said this in response to the Singapore's government requiring hotels with more than 200 rooms and malls over 50,000 square feet to submit their waste data and plans to reduce this waste by the end of March 2015. In all, the scheme will affect more than 250 commercial premises. Collecting used soap bars from guests' rooms after
Using
they've
this
checked
initiative,
out
we're going to be able
has
to
been a
recycle
regular
those and help the less
practice for
fortunate.
Hilton Singapore's housekeeping staff since February this year. According to Hilton, a guest typically uses about half a bar of soap during his or her stay in the hotel. And imagine this. If it was fully booked out the night before, it could be throwing away as many as 400 bars of soap the very next day. The hotel sent the first shipment of soap bars to a non-government organization based in Hong Kong in June. Soap cycling sorts the soap bars, scrapes away the debris and processes it into bigger bars of soap. It distributes the soap to vulnerable communities in countries like the Philippines, Thailand and Cambodia.
Used soap would have been just thrown away with the rest of the garbage. It would end up in landfills somewhere here in Singapore. And using this initiative, we're going to be able to recycle those and help the less fortunate.
Since June, more than 600 kilograms of used soap bars have been collected from Hilton Singapore and Conrad Centennial Singapore. In recent months, Hilton has been recycling an average of about 200 kilograms of newspapers, soap bars, liquid soap and shampoo every month. Intercontinental Singapore also has programs in place to reduce waste. Between January and October this year, the hotel's total waste came out to more than 55,000 kilograms. Of this, about 25,000 kilograms, or almost half, came from paper. The hotel says this is a 35% reduction compared to figures from 2 years back, thanks to some of its initiatives. For example, guests are asked before checking in if they would like newspapers delivered to their rooms. Previously, all guests received newspapers. In April this year, guests were able to access some 2,500 local and international newspapers and publications online. This meant the hotel was able to reduce its subscription of newspapers and in turn paper waste. Like Hilton Singapore, Intercontinental Singapore has been tracking its waste data for some time as part of a bigger sustainability program.
Currently, 99% of IHG managed hotels are participating in this program. So in that platform, everyone has their own action plan. So we have opportunity to share our best practices, what worked and what didn't work. It also allows us to measure ourselves against the benchmark of similar location or similar size of the hotels.
The hotel says submitting the report to the government will likely have similar outcomes for the sector over time. Autism-focused school Pathlight is holding its first public art exhibition to raise awareness of the abilities of those with autism. The exhibition at the Fullerton Hotel features works by 17 of its students aged between 12 and 21. Organizers said the art pieces display the ability to capture an immense amount of details, typical trait of autism. Close to 60 works are on display at the exhibition, and if something catches your eye, you may just be able to bring it home. About half of the art pieces are for sale. Members of the public can visit the exhibition from 29th January until 2nd March. The Bindong Spring Flower Market opened on Tuesday in Ho Chi Minh City's District 8. The 3-kilometer flower market has attracted over 500 flower growers and traders from Ho Chi Minh City and the Mekong Delta region. An array of flowers and bonsai trees from the region is on display, including apricot blossoms, kumquats, daisies and orchids. 300 years ago, Bindong Port was one of the busiest trade points in the 6-province southern area and still retains its historical beauty and traditional values of the Mekong Delta region. Tesla Motors is reportedly one of a number of car companies in talks with the Malaysian Green Technology Corporation, or Green Tech Malaysia, to bring electric vehicles into the Malaysian market. The manufacturers, which also include BMW, Volkswagen and BYD, are interested in the proposition, especially if there are tax incentives in place, as well as a ready infrastructure to support these cars. GreenTech Malaysia CEO Ahmad Hadri Haris said that EV manufacturers now want to see the government's commitment in building the market in the country through the development of infrastructure, charging stations and demand for EVs, as well as the offering of tax incentives. He said the import and excise duty exemptions on EVs are needed so that citizens in the country are able to afford electric cars, and it will help build demand for these kinds of vehicles. Electric vehicles use 70% less fuel, while maintenance costs are 65% lower compared to conventional cars. Ahmad Hadri was met during a media appreciation event in Kuala Lumpur recently, whereby media personnel were given an opportunity to test drive various electric vehicles. It was reported that the government is set to reinstate duty exemptions on EVs as part of an electric vehicle induction plan that will be announced soon pending cabinet approval. This is in line with efforts to stimulate the development of the country's green technology industries. One of the main points of the plan will be to encourage motorists to own an electric vehicle. People will use EVs after prices have been more clearly delineated with the restructuring of the entire EV tax structure, in addition to the readiness of the infrastructure and basic utilities specific to the use of such vehicles. On past experience, when the government introduced full duty exemptions for hybrid cars during Budget 2010, sales of hybrid cars have increased from 300 units that year to 6,000 units in 2011. Currently, the total number of hybrids on the road has surpassed 30,000 units. Through tax incentives as well as the development of the correct infrastructure and mechanisms, GreenTech is confident that the ownership of EVs will surpass that of hybrids. On the development of infrastructure and utilities for EVs, Ahmad Hadri said the plan will set a target of building 125,000 charging stations across the country by the year 2020. The government has allocated a 3 million ringgit grant to develop 300 EV charging stations nationwide this year. Ahmad Hadri Haris said among the 10 ASEAN countries, Malaysia can be considered advanced in terms of the use of green technology, especially in electric vehicles. But we also realize that other ASEAN countries like Singapore and Thailand are stepping up plans to do the same. This is where Malaysia can show the way towards developing green technology. Ahmad Hadri Haris believes Malaysia has to move forward to show other ASEAN countries that Malaysia needs to be an example to them, whereby they can also learn from Malaysia.
We have a dedicated funding. We're going to roll it out about 300 charging stations around the country, focusing more on the key cities where we have the higher penetration of electric vehicle. But we have to keep it together hand in hand. Rule of thumb is that whenever we have a growth of EV market, that means purchase, we also need to make sure that there's a charging station. But charging station, in reality, when you purchase an electric car, you're going to have one charging station at your home. So the additional public charging station is just to give you that lifestyle comfort. Right? In reality, you don't really need a charging stations outside because you can actually charge at home, like you charge a handphone. But every once in a while, you go like a shopping mall, you can charge it, and there's a special parking for you.
As the world's battle with climate change intensifies, green technology is establishing itself as a critical catalyst for change in economies worldwide.